You're welcome back, and now to the main issue of the day. 90% of people working with the British American Tobacco Nigeria (BATN) are said to be living with one occupational induced ailment or the other, yet their medical reports are constantly being doctored. This is the account of some former employees of the company who are currently down with cervical spondylosis and ligament tear. BATN, however, denies the allegation, stressing that the company is committed to workplace safety. According to the World Health Organization, health risks at the workplace, such as exposure to heat, noise, dust, chemicals, unsafe machines, and psychological stress, cause occupational diseases and can aggravate other health problems. It is therefore the employer's duty to protect the employees from hazardous substances while at work to minimize the risks of developing industrial illness or disease.
Every employer, has the responsibility to ensure that every worker has a safe working condition. That is, that the worker will not go back home, worse than he left home. In fact, work should actually have a psychosocial effect on the worker. It should lift the morale of the worker. It should improve the health of the worker. So when we get to a stage that work actually is contributing to the illness of the worker, then there is a problem.
For these former employees of British American Tobacco Nigeria, BATN, unsafe working conditions which they were subjected to throughout the years of service, as well as harmful substances and airborne particles which they were exposed to, has caused them serious ailment, rendering them unfit to take up any other job. Worse still, they are alleging that their medical records were doctored by the company, after which they were laid off on health grounds.
I joined British American Tobacco on the 8th of January 2007. I had a cruciate ligament tear while during the sports week in British American Tobacco in the company itself, and I was abandoned for 4 good years, not being treated. The doctors told me that I need a knee filling, otherwise if I don't do it, they might amputate my leg in the next 10 years. My own termination of appointment was mailed to me through DHL. After 2 years, they've stopped my salary. 2 good years, they stopped my salary. I had nothing. I got 3 different offers. During the medicals, they had to reject me because of my leg. They said I'm not fit to work.
I joined them 2004, April 5 to be precise. Then, around 2014, I had cervical spondylosis, to the extent that for some times I couldn't even go to work. So, and I was really afraid when it initially happened. But after, in fact, initially they were even saying maybe I was malingering. But after sometimes, like a month or two, another person joined, same cervical spondylosis. Before you know it, as I'm talking to you, quite a number of people are having this thing. I have lumbar spondylosis as well. So that's why I'm using lumbar corset.
They were using the nose bag that is meant for cashiers, counting money at the bank, and people serving meals at Mr. Biggs and all these eateries, instead of a very effective nose bag that is potent enough to prevent people from inhaling poisonous fumes that we are inhaling in the factory.
During the process of going to the hospital for tests, there are some people that were dropped because they are not medically fit. So because I was medically fit, I was employed. About 4 years to my working with BAT at secondary manufacturing department, where the cigarette is being packed into the final case for the smokers. I discovered that I had a tight chest problem. I was unable to breathe properly. I was sweating profusely. There, the company's ambulance was used to rush me down to Moli Specialist Hospital at Idiagbe. Since then, I've been a canister carrier.
Speaking on the incident, anti-tobacco advocates say though they are aware that BATN got a lot of waivers from the Nigerian government before its establishment and are producing products considered harmful to human health, they are shocked that the company is also subjecting its workers to unsafe working conditions.
When they were about to set up that factory in Ibadan, they put up billboards about a modern factory.
And so like every other Nigerian, we are shocked to know that what they actually assembled in Ibadan was a dismantled factory from Cardiff that was never conditioned for our environment. And subsequently the health problems that that's caused for the workers.
If you look at the testimonies that we have listened to, actually, there's some very bad working conditions, like actually asking them to push a bale of tobacco manually of 200 kg. That actually is unbelievable. And actually subjecting them to very humid and hot conditions while working with tobacco and all those kind of, having to push things on the conveyor belts and all those ones. Those are conditions that should never happen in any factory. So that's a failure of supervision. There is a failure of the regulatory mechanisms, that should have been put in place before a factory is started.
They would want the federal government to conduct an independent examination on the health of BATN workers to verify the tenacity or otherwise of the allegations.
The workers have done the rightful thing by coming out now to tell Nigerians that watch it. A lot of things is wrong with that factory. A lot of things is wrong with the products produced from that factory. We expect the Ministry of Health to look into this, to conduct an independent test of workers in BAT factory. We expect the ministry, the Nigerian Medical Council, to look into all those doctors that have been doing this, job for them. We've had allegations of changing medical records. I think these are very grave allegations that I think the Nigerian government should not close its eyes on.
Can imagine those 7, they are not up to 60 years yet. They are still in their productive years. Now they can't find any job anymore. And you can imagine if we keep on removing this set of productive set from the economy, what happens to the Nigerian economy? So the government, as a matter of utmost responsibility, should have a look at the BAT operations in Nigeria and begin to call them to order. Begin to apply the regulatory mechanisms that are in place, to the BAT. BAT should not be seen as a sacred cow. BAT should not be an organization or industry that is being protected by some people in government.
Reacting, BATN, in a statement by its Legal and External Affairs Director, Freddie Mesanvi, said it is taking the allegations seriously and is currently investigating them as part of its strict adherence and commitment to workplace safety, which has resulted in maintaining a zero incidence of workplace injuries for the past 8 years. His words, "We adhere strictly to our environment, health and safety policy implementation, which applies to our employees and contractors. We also abide by the local laws and are compliant with not just the local regulations, but we also benchmark ourselves against the requirements of labor practices globally." This position notwithstanding, anti-tobacco activists want government to, as a matter of responsibility, look at BATN's operations in the country with a view to correcting whatever ill that may exist, stressing that contrary to the company's narrative of providing employment, they are also responsible for productivity loss if the account of these former employees is anything to go by.